Actually, we're going to go to Florent Geroux, my special guest. Whoa. Okay.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well. First of all, thank you so much for joining me. And for those of you watching, I felt it only appropriate to kick things off with Work All Week, who, if you look behind Flo there in the background, he actually has a painting of him. This horse, champion sprinter of 2014, made over $1.5 million. Um, Obviously, a special talent, but I would believe special to you being your first Grade 1 winner, correct?
Yes, correct. Yeah, first Grade One winner, and it was my first ride in Breeders' Cup event, so it was great.
You
And
gotta love it.
at the time, he was Illinois bred. It was just a horse, running, local, pretty much all his career, and he took his uh, his chance to the next level, and worked out great for him.
Well, let's take it back to that because, I mean, obviously you're from France. Let me think if I can remember anything. Je parle français un peu.
Ok, très bien.
Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. But you came over from France. Your father, Dominique, was a jockey and a trainer. So
Yes.
I'm guessing you were inspired by him and wanted to follow in his footsteps. You actually went to jockey school starting at 13 years old, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah, most like all the jockeys who are riding in France, they have to go through the jockey school to become a jockey. So it's part of the routine, and it's how you can get actually the jockey license.
How different is that from what you see here in America?
We'll see over there. There's little more background, a little more time, before the apprentice actually are taking their jockey license, because they have to go through the jockey school, and it's like at least between 2 or 3 years, process, them riding in the morning and stuff before they can actually ride the afternoon. And here, who knows, it could be like a couple of months, could be a year. It depends on how long. The apprentice needs to be can be ready.
Well, that's a great point that you bring up. I mean, you guys are out there. You're not only riding horses, for us to bet on, to wager on, and for owners to make money off, with purses. But when you're out there, you're risking your lives. Do you think that we would benefit from maybe looking at a little bit of reform in how jockey licenses are approved?
It could, I guess, Chris McCarron and some other tried, a jockey school, over in Lexington, and worked, for some of them. It's very hard because over there, there's not many people, actually can attend the school, and it can get very expensive.
Yeah.
Over there in France, it's mostly paid by the government, so even if it doesn't matter where you come from, it's accessible to everyone. So that's the thing. It doesn't matter if your parents, have money, to go to send you to school. It's very similar to the college, here in America. If your parents, doesn't have money, or you can get a loan, you can go to college. In France, it's free for everyone. So you just work hard, and that's it.
Well, you must have felt, when coming over here with a formal education, did it inspire more confidence in how you rode?
Not necessarily. I think no. I think it's pretty much the same. I would say here in America there is way more opportunity than there is, anywhere in the world, and people really appreciate, when you work hard, and it doesn't matter where you come from. They put everybody's equal, and it's just depend on how hard you work and how good you can do.
Well, the interesting thing is, when we think of the jocks from Europe, obviously the first thing you think of is grass, but you've had tremendous success no matter the surface, no matter the distance. Do you have a preference? Is there a certain condition you like to ride best? I mean, we just saw you scoring in such a sensational time there on Work All Week in the sprint on dirt. Is there a race that, like I said, is there a type of race that for you is more fun to ride than another, or no preference?
Not necessarily. I like the longer races just because it's a little more tactical and you can take your time. And I think sometime if you ride a good race, or you can increase the chances of your horse. longer races are probably, I would say, like more, what I like to do. I take my time, but I think I did pretty fine, running sprint races, winning two Breeders' Cup, one on the turf and one on the dirt. So I guess it was okay doing that. But
Oh, we lost. There he is. You're back. It cut out for just
yeah,
a
sorry.
second. It's okay. No, I was just making sure you can still hear me. So when you came over here, obviously that's a big decision to make. And eventually, when you were talking about Work All Week in the Illinois circuit, is that where you met Doug Bradar, who is your agent?
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I met Doug through Patrick Biancon. I met Doug actually at Gulfstream Park. I was there, for the winter and helping, Patrick Biancon out and running for him in the morning. And the two knew each other, and Patrick introduced me to Doug. And since then, we've been together. It's been 10 or 11 years now, and did great things together. And hopefully, we can continue on.
Well, you definitely have. I know Doug a little bit. I know his wife, Kaiten,
Yes.
better, just by virtue of obviously she works for TVG, and my husband Matt does as well. And just like you're saying, I mean, just the heights you've reached. We're going to go over some of these races, looking more specifically at the Breeders' Cup. So in 2014, like I said, you get your first Grade 1 win, and that was with Work All Week. 2015, you take down two races. You take the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint with Mongolian Saturday over Lady Shipman. And
Yeah.
so I'm just curious, did you kind of get a kick out of the fact that Lady Shipman's son, Golden Pal, sort of avenged his dam?
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, that's great. Actually, honestly, I think that day she won a winning race. Just a little bit unlucky at the end, with the outcome. She was, I think, going to run me down, but she was a really incredible racehorse. When she used to run, I mean, just winning, races after races. And
Yeah.
it's great, for the legacy of her, having her son, Golden Pal, winning a British Cup. So it looked like he took her a revenge.
That's right. Well, I actually have the stretch here because I do think it's so important when a horse is having another one come down and breathe down their throat latch to have a jockey on board who's just going to will them to the wire. And you certainly got him there for the victory. So let's go ahead and we'll take a look back right here at the Turf Sprint of 2015 at Keeneland with Mongolian Saturday just holding off Lady Shipman. So let me see where I've got it. Boom. We're going to share the audio and share.
Mongolian Saturday on the outside, Anthony now, ready for ride. Here's Lady Shipman trying to come and get Mongolian Saturday in the final furlong. Bobby's Kitten is there too. Mongolian Saturday reaching for the wire. Lady Shipman trying to close in. Here comes Green Mask on the outside, and Bobby's Kitten. Mongolian Saturday, Lady Shipman down to the wire. Together in the sprint. Oh, it was close between those two. And then came Green Mask in third.
When it's that close, do you know? Because from our angle, it looks like the horses are hitting the wire together. Did you already know that you had won?
Oh no, this one I thought I was still in front, but I think it's been my closest, Breeders' Cup by far. But I had a feeling, I was still I still won. I still hold on and won the race. I was like, you never 100% sure, but I had a pretty good idea just because of the bob.
Well, what's going through I mean, I can imagine some of the words going through your head when you know that horse is coming, but what do you have to do physically to get them there?
Well, I mean, you just need to keep, riding your horse. Make sure you're still in the motion. Just don't want to override, and overdo things. But in the same token, you need to make sure your horse stay focused all the way through the finish line. So it gets it's a little bit of both, and physically, I'm not saying like you get more tired than anything else because we are, used to that, and that's why we are paid for.
Yeah.
But no, it's a little more nerve wracking. At the end, I mean, it's like you watching the races. You just don't know who's gonna finish on top.
Right. Well, you've finished on top also in 2015 aboard Catch a Glimpse. How crazy is Catch a Glimpse's I mean, how crazy is her record? I mean, when you look at it, Sovereign Horse of the Year at 2 years old. That's so impressive. She's champion grass mare, champion 2-year-old filly. Let's go ahead and take a look back at the stretch of that race. And then I love to hear your impressions of her because she was such a cool horse for Mark Cassie. Let's see here. Where's Catch a Glimpse? I've got her right here. Let's check it out.
A half length as they head for the far turn. Sapphire Kitten in good position here, third, just 2.5 lengths off the lead. Thrilled is fourth. Alice Springs fifth toward the inside, and then Harmonized sixth between horses 49 and 1/5 seconds for the first half mile. Gliding by, seventh toward the rail. Illuminate is eighth. Midway on the far turn. Ruby Notion toward the inside, leading Catch a Glimpse by 3 parts of a length. Sapphire Kitten goes third, looks toward the outside, 3 lengths off the lead. Alice Springs is going to try to find an opening down toward the inside in fourth. Thrilled is fifth. Harmonize is in sixth in between horses off the turn. Sapphire Kitten comes forward. Alice Springs need room. Catch a Glimpse has the lead. Ruby Notion drops back. Catch a Glimpse leading it. And Sapphire Kitten trying. Alice Springs trying. Nemeralia running late from far back. Catch a Glimpse with the lead. Nemeralia runs on from the outside. Catch a Glimpse the leader. Catch a Glimpse the winner for Florent Geroux. Close for second, maybe Alice Springs. If not her, it'll be.
So the Juvenile Fillies Turf, which you also won this year with Aunt Pearl. We're going to look at that in a bit. But let's talk about Catch a Glimpse first. Again, just a really cool filly. It looked like you were never concerned in that race. I mean, on the backstretch, you were just, poised up in the saddle. You were ready to ask. She was ready to listen. A horse like that, you were already coming into the race. I forget what the actual record was, but she had put together a pretty impressive streak. And was there more pressure? Or you go in there with more confidence, knowing you've got a horse like that?
No, actually, I was very thankful at the time, just to ride her that day, because I went over to Woodbine actually to ride a horse from Chicago for Michael Stidham, and I end up riding this filly because I think at the time Patrick Husband was double up.
Oh.
And he chose to ride another filly, and it's where I picked up Catch a Glimpse in the Natalma. And after I've won the race, that was my only time riding that was my only time riding her at the time. I was riding a little bit for Mark Cassie at the time, but not quite a lot. And I was just very I could have it could have happened, they would have decided to put a top jockey at the time, but I was very thankful for the connection, Mark, especially, and also his owner Gary Barber and the other partner to give me a chance, at the big stage, because at that day the filly was not the heavy favorite, but I thought she had a great chance. And after that, it was a big snowball effect, especially after those two
Yeah.
Breeders' Cup for my career. And this filly was incredible because she had a great tactical speed, and that's why she won most of her races, because she was just very talented, and she was very simple to ride. She broke very sharp from the gate, which allowed myself to put her in a great spot pretty much all the time and have a great trip. So from there, it's a lot easier when you do that.
Well, yeah, you know what? I kind of misspoke because she was coming in off 2 wins, the one with the Natalma where you had taken the call. Then after that, yeah, she wins the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf, the Here Comes the Bride, the Appalachian, the Edgewood. She beats the boys in the Penn Mile.
Yeah.
Then the Belmont Oaks Invitational Stakes. Just a really cool filly. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, and the other cool thing too is, like Work All Week, a daughter of he was a son and she's a daughter of City Zip.
Yeah, exactly. Silizip, a great stallion, very versatile. And one was a dirt, a sprinter, and her, she used to route on a turf. At the time, he was known more, for sprinters and dirt horses, but it shows, he was able to do different things. Nice filly of Chalburn too, also end up winning the Breeders' Cup filly and mare.
Yeah.
But Silizip too. So looked like he was pretty versatile stallion.
Oh no, definitely, and he's greatly missed. And at least we still have his half brother, Ghost Zapper, right?
Yes.
So that's cool. I have somebody. We're gonna get to Aunt Pearl in just a bit, but they can't wait. They're talking about the fact that Okay, he says, Wayne Harrison says, Florent, great Breeders' Cup. You're the best man, best jockey in the USA, right? For the best trainer. Curls some filly. He said he got 7-1 on her because I guess the idea, we'll mention it right now, but we'll talk about her more later. But I think the idea is to go to Royal Ascot for the Group 1 Coronation Stakes.
Yeah.
And this person wants to know if she'll go right-handed.
Well, I think she could. I mean, we just need to get her, used to it. But, horses, they don't really know what's left or right, in Europe, or different, part of the world. They train straight, most of them. They go left, they go right. They don't really know, so I don't know. I mean, us is
sorry, go ahead.
Us is a little bit different because we always turn left, but I mean, if you put her, right, quite a few times, she get used to it and hopefully could be fine.
Well, you've been to Royal Ascot once, and that was with Mongolian Saturday, right?
Yes, twice actually. Once
Twice,
with him and once with La Coronel also for the.
Oh, that's right, La Coronel. Yes. Okay, so you already have the hat and the coattails, right?
Yeah.
Do you just bring it out and dust it off and go?
Yeah, exactly. No, I know, quite what's coming there, which is good. But no, I'm excited if she goes, and everything goes well with her. I think she could be a serious, contender, and she has great tactical speed, and she's extremely gifted. It should be like probably my best chance, by far, if she has to run next year.
Oh yeah, no, and like I said, we're going to show her replay. We'll talk about her a bit more in just a bit. But I want to get to talking about a horse who I think it'd be kind of tough for you because you've ridden now like 2 mega stars. I'm not going to ask you to choose which one means more to you, but I'm sure Gun Runner means a whole heck of a lot. A horse that's really taken you on a ride. And the thing that I thought was so interesting about him is he kind of just came into his own in that 4-year-old season. His only loss in that whole year was in the Dubai World Cup to Arrogate. And that's where that horse just kind of freaked. But in that year, he wins the Stephen Foster, the Whitney, the Woodward, the Classic, and then I know it's technically the next year, but it was still the same season. He hadn't taken really much time off except for December and going into the Pegasus World Cup and capping his career off there with victory. And I believe that was the inaugural Pegasus World Cup, I think, right? 2018.
It was the second one, I think.
The second? Oh, you're right.
The first one was taken by Arrogate.
Arrogate, you're right. He was the first because I remember thinking, wow, this could be maybe a cool series for the handicap horses of a Triple Crown. You're right. Absolutely. Because that's where he went off, and then he won the 2017 Pegasus World Cup and then won the Dubai World Cup.
Yeah.
So this, what do you make of this horse just kind of like exploding in that 4-year-old season?
Yeah, exactly. Actually, he was supposed to run as a 4-year-old, but he was not able to travel because, if I remember right, it was something going on at the fairground with the virus, the herpes.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't allow him to travel from the fairgrounds to Gulfstream Park. So Gulfstream Park pulled the plug on him and would not let him in.
Right, I remember
that's
that
why
now.
he ended up running in the Razorback for his first time over the year. Then from the Razorback at Auckland, he went straight to Dubai.
How was that experience for you?
It was a great experience, actually. He ran a great race, and if Arrogate didn't run, this freakish race, Gun Runner probably would have won the race, by 4 or 5 lengths, and everybody would have, talked about him, But
yeah,
that was a great experience and great outcome, and that was just an incredible race, overall, and more, especially for Arrogate, did what he did that day was simply incredible, and Gun Runner went on after that, to become who he became.
Well, this is kind of funny. So this after the Breeders' Cup this year, I was at one of the sales and I saw Steve. Before I say the last name, here's the thing. I've been calling Steve Asmussen forever and a day, okay? And then finally, like just recently, I've been hearing people saying Asmussen. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, what's going on here? So I cornered him at the sale and I said, look, I've been calling you Steve Asmussen forever. And that's what I hear a lot of the commentators say too, obviously. And I said, so what is it? And he said, well, unless my dad's been lying to me, it's Asmussen. But I don't care what you say so long as there's not an expletive at the beginning of it. So I thought that was really funny. So now I'm going to have to train myself to say Steve Asmussen, which feels completely foreign to me. But anyway, the reason I bring him up, not only is he obviously Gun Runner's trainer, but I had actually spoken with him during the presser ahead of the 2017 Breeders' Cup. And he was talking about the Whitney Stakes, where we had that really strange incident where the horseshoe came off the rabbit and landed in Gun Runner's tail, which, did you not realize that until the very end of the race? Did you even see anything?
No, I had no idea. It's only like a few hours later when everything popped up, on like social media and TVs, when we figured it out, even at the time. We just thought that was his own shoe, or maybe a shoe, stuck somewhere, like, on the track. Who knows, who ended up on his tail. But I didn't even feel anything. I didn't know.
Well, thank goodness, because I mean, these things are heavy. And I know I've got these shoes here, and somebody mentioned to me last week, they're like, your shoes are upside down. That's bad luck because the luck all falls out. Well, first of all, one, I'm not superstitious at all, which are you superstitious?
A little bit, but not bad. I'm not as far as like the horseshoe thing.
No. Well, I mean, I don't know. I always feel like anything I do in life can't affect what other people do. You have to have a pretty big ego to think that, oh my gosh, I put this upside down, so everybody around me is going to have bad luck, right? But the reason I did it is because I have two shoes together, and it would look weird, like they were walking down a wall if I had them the other way. But in any case, horseshoes are heavy. And what I'm saying about what happened in the Whitney, had that shoe hit the horse in the leg, it could have been really bad.
No, it could have been, exactly. It happens many times, actually, jockey or horses can get injured, with a shoe, flying up, their face, or part of their body, and hurt them. But no, it was just very strange because went, straight up in the air, a few feet away, and just landed on the back of the horse who lost the shoe, and from his high hand went straight to my gun runner's tail. So it's very strange because you can throw 1,000 times a horseshoe on the tail and it's never gonna stick. It's just gonna go straight to the ground. It was just one of those freaky thing, and things people are going to talk for years and make a nice fun winning picture actually at the end.
That's right. Well, here is that video clip of Steve talking about what he did with that shoe after the fact. So let's go ahead and take a look at that, because I think it's pretty cool. Let's see here.
Yes, it's and I sit here, we're talking about how good Gun Runner is, knowing that almost anything can happen in a horse race. You're not even sure what extra. Come back with an extra.
Has a fun aside to that.
My wife put that in a beautiful shadow box with the picture in it. So you look at it, just the emotions that just because of the day, and just the probability, and just how quirky racing can be. What a moment forever be remembered.
Have you figured out how that happened?
The video of it is amazing. It is. It flew off front right shoe of the. We literally have the rabbit foot. and it flew in front of him, very high in the air, and bounced off of the leader right in the Gun Runner's tail.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. Yeah, I mean, I never seen anything like that. Since I rode, but probably won't see anything like it again.
Yeah, no, for sure. But okay, I wasn't going to make you choose between Gun Runner and Monomoy Girl, but I am going to make you choose who has better hair. Steve at the peak with that nice coif going, or Bob Baffert?
You know, you can't miss Bob actually. You know, with his white hair. You know,
Yeah.
he's really the face of horse racing. You know, his white hair and his sunglasses. And Steve changed style. You know, and Bob's been the same one. You know, for years. But
Yeah.
I kind of like Steve. You know, with his long hair better, but then his short hair. But he just cut it off this year. So.
Well, you know what? I was talking to Bob Baffert at one of the breakfast marquees this past Breeders' Cup, and I told him about that old smoke shirt that's got his hair and the glasses outlined, and I asked him if he had one, and if he did, would he ever wear it? And he made a joke that, okay, well, maybe at Del Mar he'd wear his own shirt. But I've been advocating, I don't know if you've heard this from me, but been advocating that Old Smoke needs to make a T-shirt featuring you that says "Flow Motion."
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen it.
No, I want that. I want that. They haven't done it yet, but I want to make this happen. If there was a Flow Motion shirt, would you wear that?
Of course, yeah.
All right. Yes, I love it. I wear myself. Why not? It's fun.
Exactly.
If you've earned the esteem of the public that they want that product, represent, right?
Yeah, of course, no doubt. I would do it.
Right on. So okay, so now we've talked about the Whitney. We've talked about Gunrunner coming into this race and looking really formidable. So now let's watch it, shall we? Gunrunner in the 2017 Breeders' Cup Classic with Flo. Let's see here.
They're all in line. We are ready for the start. They're off in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Arrowgate broke to his left coming out of the starting gate. Not at the beginning for him, but a great one for Gunrunner and Collected. These two will go out for the early lead together, and a crush of horses trying to get position behind them. Mubtahij, Churchill, and on the outside, West Coast. And then it's Powell right behind them. Then it's War Story. Arrowgate, who on the left coming out of the gate, is racing about 10 lengths off the lead with a lap to go. He's alongside of Gunavera. After that, it's War Decree and Win the Space. So Gunrunner will get ahead of Collected early on here. That first quarter mile was a taxing 22.50 seconds. And with 7 furlongs to run, Florent Geroux and Gunrunner lead it by a length. Collected and Martin Garcia second on the outside. Churchill is third. And then it's West Coast running at fourth. Mubtahij is fifth by 2. Powell is sixth. Arrowgate is down on the inside. War Story onto the backstretch. Mike Smith trying to find a good spot with him. He's 8 lengths off the lead after a 46.31 half mile. Then Gunavera and War Decree, and far behind is Win the Space. So they go up the backstretch in the Breeders' Cup Classic at Del Mar. And Gunrunner and Collected are 1-2. And Arrowgate is near the back of the field. Mike Smith trying to urge him. He's still about 8 lengths behind. Racing for the far turn, Gunrunner the leader. On the outside, Collected has been battling him the whole way. 3/4 of it, 1:10.50 seconds. West Coast is now 4 lengths off the lead and being ridden by Javier Castellano. War Story is fourth under a drive. Arrowgate's going to take the far outside route. He's coming up on the outside of Gunavera, but he's a long way behind Gunrunner and Collected as they make their way to the top of the stretch in the Breeders' Cup Classic. They're into the stretch, and it's Collected and Gunrunner. They've been battling since the gates opened. Gunrunner's got the lead. Collected, West Coast is bearing down on them on the outside. Final 16, Gunrunner reaching for the wire. Collected to left side, and then West Coast and War Story. But Gunrunner's on top of the world. He wins the Breeders' Cup Classic over Collected. Then came West Coast, followed by War Story. Arrowgate was coming late, but too late. The time was 2:1.29 seconds.
I like you looking back there. Could you hear Steve screaming in the stands?
Yeah, it's great. There was a lot of pressure and for this race, not necessarily for us, but for the horse. You know, it was a very close. You know, for the horse of the year thing, and this race, was a great purse also, but it was also where the champions, gets crowned,
Decided, yeah.
and it was very important for him to win it. I think this race was more meaningful for the horse than for the connection.
Well, it is so impressive. You will look at this race record. He was in the money over the course of his career in 17 of 19 starts. 12 of those were wins. He earned just shy of $15 million. And this is a horse that always, just, I mean, based on what I just said there in terms of the starts and in the money finishes, always showed up. Here's a question for you. Just watching Collected breathing down his neck that whole race. What, in your opinion, as a jockey, is the bigger gamble? Is it going all in at the start and taking a horse to the lead, knowing they have that speed and the speed that can carry? Or is it rating a horse and just hoping that you don't incur traffic and have to navigate?
With him was just I just tried to ride him, wherever he was comfortable. He was extremely fast leaving the gate. He used to brake very sharply and took some great position. He broke very sharp that day in the Breeders' Cup Classic, but also even faster when he ran in the Kentucky Derby the race before. He broke and he was already like 2 lengths in front, and I had to slow him down to get him third. But from there, it's just try to get him into a rhythm. Whatever the horse is comfortable, it doesn't matter really the position.
Right.
And I knew that horse, so well, and had so much confidence in him. It didn't really matter if I go a little bit faster. The beginning was just trying to get him, try to keep him happy and whatever he was comfortable.
Well, you must have felt very happy to be able to ride this horse into his stud career off of victory in the Pegasus World Cup.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, there was no pressure at all, in the Breeders in the Pegasus World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Just because what he accomplished, and we knew it was going to be his last race, no matter what, and he was going to stud, right after the race.
Yeah.
It was there was a lot of cash, that was just that's about it, for all the connections.
Uh-huh.
But he accomplished so much already, and the stud fee was already set pretty much, and he was like, whatever happened, it was just a bonus, was just gravy. And that was great. I truly miss him and miss riding him, and
Aw.
not even like the afternoon, but I love breezing him in the morning and stuff like this. I breeze him so many times, and Steve, and his team, always let me walk on him and stuff, and that was just great. It was such a great team effort, and that's what I remember the most.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's a great thing that you just brought up, though, breezing him in the morning. We see so often jockeys get on horses, and I'm sure this is true for you on a regular daily basis, that a lot of times you're getting on a horse you've never been on, and you're going right into a real race scenario with them. Do you think there is just a huge benefit if you are able to build this relationship with a horse in the mornings before riding them in the afternoon, or for you does it not matter because you're going to go into that race with the same type of confidence either way?
Well, I'm sure it doesn't hurt, to know the horse in the morning, but sometimes it could be a plus to never seen the horse at all, before a race. Sometimes you doesn't know the antic of the horse, and you just don't know it. So, and you
Yeah.
won't even try to, do something you would do if you know the horse. But when he gets at this kind of level of the competition, and the horse, you get along with the horse, perfectly. I will say, it's fun, to breeze the horse and stuff like that, in the morning, and do the preparation, especially when coming into big races. Doesn't matter what kind of race you prep. There is a certain, preparation you have to do with the horse, and when to tune up and when to slow it down a little bit. And I think sometimes it's more fun than the races actually.
Well, that's the thing. I have an equestrian background in showing. I grew up on a thoroughbred horse farm, so I was always involved in racing. But as far as my riding, I showed horses. So I've always marveled whenever I talk to a jockey about the fact that they have to build that relationship most times just between getting the leg up in the paddock and getting to the gate. So that whole warm up, they're getting to know a brand new horse, like you're talking about, getting to know the quirks, or hopefully trying to like figure it out before they get in the gate. So it always impresses me what you guys do. I have some questions. I don't want people to think I'm ignoring them. Wayne Harrison wants to know, what made you switch from France to USA, Florent, if I may ask?
Actually, I didn't really decide to come here until I was here. Was just one of those experience you do, during the off season. I just wanted to explore, new things, and learn new different way of working with horses. So I decided to come here one winter and just really liked it, and somehow did my paperwork, my visa, and a few months later I was here and just tried the adventure.
Well, 2018 was a very big year for you, not only with Monomoy Girl winning the Distaff, but you also became officially a United States citizen, as I understand it. Am I right?
Yeah,
All right.
correct. Yeah.
Well, what was that whole process like? What did you do? How did you celebrate?
Well, actually, not much, for the yeah, I mean, little bit, with my close friends, family. But no, it was just the process, since my wife actually is from here, from America. She was born and raised in Chicago, and my two kids, are also, born in Chicago. So it was just for me, getting a U.S. citizen, without giving up the French citizenship, was just a bonus. I can have two citizenship, so why not take advantage of it?
That's right. That's right. Well, if I had been in your shoes, I would, but you're jockey, so I don't know. Can you do this? I would have celebrated with some apple pie.
Yeah, no, we celebrate more with champagne, I guess.
Oh, there you go. Why not? Because we love the champagne over here as well. In fact, I almost did a joke. I was like, you know what? Maybe I should pop a bottle just, to cheers, Florent.
Cool.
Yeah, I should have done it, but I might actually. Matt brought home Bailey's yesterday, and I'm kind of a girl who likes the little sweet, creamy drinks, so I might go for that later instead. But the toast will be to you. Here's another question for you. This is from, let's see, Jody. She wants to, Flo, do you think you will win Fairgrounds this year?
Well, I mean, it depends, really, how many trips, out of town I get. Most of the time I'm kind of hurt by that. I go the weekends, back and forth to ride some stakes races, and sometimes I miss 2-3 days of riding during the weekend, and it adds, later, at the end of the meet, I have half of the amount of the guy next to me, so it's it's a little bit harder. When I was there the beginning all the time, I was able to play.
Oh, he'll be right back, I think. We've had this happen before where he's cut out, but he cuts back in. And I hear him, and we're just waiting for the picture to come back up. I can hear you, Flo, but I don't. Yeah. Here's what. There. Okay. I see a little man. But is that you?
I don't know.
Here's what you can do. This is what we had Kenny McPeak do when this happened to him. He just came back in on that same link. So if you exit and just come back in, I'll bring you back into that broadcaster.
Should I leave and come back?
Yeah, just leave and come back. And as you do that, I will show the replay of Monomoy Girl in the 2018 Distaff. Check this out, everybody. What a cool filly she is. Monomoy Girl. Let's see. Oh, I want to make sure I'm showing, because I have both of them. Let's show the right one. The 2018 Breeders' Cup Distaff with Flo and Monomoy Girl.
They're off in the Breeders' Cup Distaff. Abel Tasman did not break all that well and was really trying to motivate her. It is Wonder Gadot who goes out to the early lead. And Monomoy Girl is right to the outside. Abel Tasman is up in the mix now. She's third and down through the rail. And then comes Mopatism in fourth, moving into that turn. Then it's Blue Prize on the outside. Champagne Problems riding the rail under Calvin Burrell, scraping it, in fact, as they make their way around that turn. And then on the outside comes Midnight Bisou. And they're being followed by Verb's Tail. Veiled Dory is next. La Force and Wildcat at the back of the pack. 23.39 the opening quarter mile. Up the back stretch they go. Wonder Gadot leads the way. And then it's Monomoy Girl, the Kentucky Oaks winner. Last year's Kentucky Oaks winner. Abel Tasman is third on the inside. And they're being followed in fourth by Blue Prize. Then Mopatism. Champagne Problems on the inside. Midnight Bisou is 6 lengths off the lead as they continue through a 47.57 half mile. Then Verb's Tail, Veiled Dory, wide at the half-mile pole. La Force is next and Wildcat. They make their way into the far turn. Wonder Gadot is the leader. Monomoy Girl breathing down her neck on the outside, and Blue Prize is right there too. Abel Tasman is retreating on the far turn. She's back in sixth. Mike Smith wants more from her, but she's not giving it today. Meanwhile, Monomoy Girl is taking the lead at the top of the stretch. Blue Prize runs at her. The two of them turn for home with Midnight Bisou, third on the outside. 3/16 to go. Monomoy Girl to catch. Florent Geroux goes to an all-out drive. Blue Prize trying to stick with her. Midnight Bijou continues to move down the center. Monomoy Girl at 16th to go. Blue Prize, Wildcat finishing well on the inside. Then comes Midnight Bijou. Monomoy Girl has won the Distaff. Wildcat came late for a second, then Midnight Bijou and Blue Prize, and Abel Tasman was last under the wire.
I love hearing these guys scream like women. That was so cool. I just think it's so funny that if you look, we're watching these races back to back. First, we saw Gunrunner winning the Classic of 2017, and now we're watching Monomoy win the 2018 Distaff. And the running, the way with which they run, he's low to the ground, and she is head up and high. How much do you have to change your own position on a horse like that? How significant is it to you in the way you ride when they carry their head carriage is so different?
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, completely opposite. Gunrunner actually for a dirt horse carries head, very low off the ground. Most of the time it's tough horses who carry their body like that, and he was very low and extend himself like very long. And her, I feel, it's like driving a car with the handbrakes on. She's always like her neck gets all stiff,
Yeah.
and for some reason I feel like she's giving me like 60% down the lane. I can feel I have a lot more left under the pedal.
Yeah.
She's not really giving it to me, so I'm trying few tricks and not trying to hit her with the stick and try to
I see you
surprise
scrubbing
her,
more
but
on the neck with her. Yeah.
but she still win anyway, so
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter. But now this year she's a little more different, a little more mature, and I would say she extend herself a little more, but she's still like not trying her full potential, I would say.
Well, I will say that she cool thing about her also in regard to Brad Cox, trainer, she gave him his first grade 1 win in the Ashland, and to have her now, and we'll talk about her more later because I want to, at Pearl's in the middle of all of this. I kind of want to go with the timeline as the story plays out for you. But it was interesting that to have this mare as we're talking about and going around a ground on dirt, and that's why I'm saying that the spirit way is that horses get the job done. But when I was talking to Brad about her, he was saying that sometimes when she gets out there and she makes the lead, she kind of stops. It's like, where is everybody? Because
Yeah, exactly. She's very talented, and like you said, sometimes she just you know she do things very effortless.
yeah.
So when she goes down the lane, and like you said, the competition is already away, at the airport, she's kind of like wander around a little bit. But this year she's been a little more focused, and especially her last 2 races, I was able to like smooch at her and get her focus, and
Mhm.
I feel like she's giving me a little more than she used to as a 3-year-old.
Well, before all of this happened this year, that distaff, I had already mentioned the Ashland being the first grade 1 for Brad, but also you won the Kentucky Oaks with her. You've now won the Oaks twice because you won it this year as well for Brad. What was that like winning the Oaks for you? Was that a race that to have that type of significant crowd, that Derby weekend crowd there, did it make it more special? You ride at Churchill so much. Just having the insight on that track and getting the job done, does it make it more special for you?
No, definitely. The fans are the one who actually making it. Everything happen. On race day. When they're able to attend the track, and especially a weekend like the Derby week. Those are like pretty special. If you've never been through, it's something I very highly recommend. It's races like others, Oaks and Derby, and winning it, in front of a crowd, of like 120 or 30,000. I was at the time. It's simply incredible. You can, hear the crowd, roaring and cheering your name or the name of your horse, and experience, winner circle. I never been before at Churchill Down. on a grass course, you know. So
Yeah,
it was pretty
right.
incredible, and we didn't know where to go, and I never been there, so that was funny, and it was great. Just the first Kentucky Oaks. This year was also special, you know, to win it, but there was no crowd, so it was
Yeah, yeah.
that was really weird, you know. That was a weird feel.
I no, definitely. We're gonna get more into that too. But before I do, at least I mean, Monomoy Girl, you know, she wins the Distaff, and then she misses all of 2019. She had a colic episode. They decided obviously let her have time to recover from that, and then there was another little hiccup of that. You know that they just decided let's just call the whole year off. Um, but it didn't really have any bearing on you in terms of so it didn't have bearing on you with the Breeders' Cup situation with her not running, but you yourself, unfortunately, in I believe it was October 13th, you had a bad accident and you broke your sternum, and you weren't able to ride the Breeders' Cup because of that.
Yeah, actually, that was last year. You know, I missed the Breeders' Cup at Santa Anita, and luckily for me, it wasn't the best year I had. You know, with opportunities. You know, I have few
Mm.
chances to ride, but nothing like I had. You know, the past few years with Monomoy Girl or Gun Runner and those type of like very heavy favorite. You know, in those races. So worked out. You know, I went down actually this year the day before Breeders' Cup. Fortunately, you know, I was uninjured, but you know, it just shows you, you know, you need to get lucky sometime in this business, and I was very and lucky this year, and I was able to ride the Breeders' Cup and win a few, so it worked out great.
I know you came back with a vengeance, but I will say I remember seeing you there at the Breeders' Cup last year because hey, I guess you weren't going to miss it even though you were injured. You must have had like body armor of some kind, you know, some sort of a cast underneath, I think, underneath your suit, but you were still doing hits for the media.
Yeah, actually, the French television actually who are covering, you know, the Breeders' Cup races, you know, over the weekend, contacted me and asked me if I wanted to work for them, and I accepted, and that was a great experience. Do something different, and also giving them also you know, some input, you know, on some of the horses or some of the tracks, you know, they were not very familiar with, and hopefully, you know, I'm hoping, you know, it helped, you know, some of the bettors, you know, over there overseas, and that's what makes it, you know, great. You know, everybody was watching, and it was a great opportunity and good change, you know, of riding races for a while.
No, I thought that was awesome, and it was really fun to see you in action, even if I couldn't understand everything that was being said. I understand again, un peu.
Okay.
Um, so, what was the recovery process for you like that? How soon were you back riding races?
I started to ride, I think, sometime mid meet, I guess, at in November. I was out, I would say, for like 5 6 weeks. I think I came
Oh,
back like, remember, I rode a great filly right away named Taras. That was one of our
here?
best horse we had, and I come back. That was mid-November, I think.
Oh,
And
wow.
no, just broken sternum. Actually, it was tough. I couldn't sleep for like almost 2 weeks. I was sleeping on my back on the
Oh,
chair, so it was like I couldn't lay flat. And there is nothing you can do. There is no surgery or anything. Just heals, you know, with time. And you can't really cough, and you can't. It was hard to swallow too. It was just right
oh
here.
my gosh.
And no, it was a little bit. That was not really painful, but more like uncomfortable. And no, after a few weeks, you know, start going away and start feeling stronger. And I'm glad, you know, when I had the green light and I was able to get back on horses.
Well, you got back on for sure, and then of course now in 2020 the COVID hit. So, um, can you just take us through your season, what it meant for you, how this has impacted you, and what it was like, you know, trying to get yourself in position to be able to ride this Breeders' Cup?
Well, for this year, you know, running the Breeders' Cup was pretty simple. You know, it was just. Can you repeat the question? I didn't really
Oh,
get.
I was just asking how much over the course of this year has COVID affected you? You know, whether it's traveling, the restrictions, everything, and just being able to prepare yourself and putting yourself in place for mounts and to be able to, you know, I know you've got this great relationship with Brad Cox, so I feel that you always felt confident you were going to have those mounts. But
Yeah, well, this year was not really affecting me. You know, since I was riding, locally. I didn't need to travel anywhere. It
Mhm.
was more for some of the outside, towner like jockeys who rides in New York, California, or overseas. Myself was I was riding, down the street, just like I ride. So it didn't really affect me. There's testing, of course, with the COVID and all that stuff. But since I already were tested positive for COVID over the summer, I didn't have much chance of like getting the COVID again.
You got the
2.5 months.
antibodies.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
So
Yeah.
it was very slim chance of getting having the COVID again. Having antibodies. For a few months.
And you didn't even know you had it, right? You never felt bad.
No, I mean it's what happened. That's why it's so dangerous and contagious because
Mhm.
most of us, don't know, we're carrier of the virus and we can
Right.
spread it, to our people, who are more, vulnerable.
Yeah, no, for sure. And what you're talking about with other jockeys, with the restrictions, the travel protocols in place. How crazy was it? Here we have a Breeders' Cup, and there's no Mike Smith because of the travel restrictions. He had one horse that he had been committed to, that had committed for a ride, and it just wasn't enough for him to come over and then have to go through all the quarantine protocols to go back.
Yeah, I mean, this year was completely crazy, and that was even crazier for most of us. Actually, myself and the California jockey, we just could not go at all in New York, so there was no
Yeah.
Saratoga. Me being based in Kentucky, I was not allowed to ride in California over Delmar, so all my stakes horses were riding by different jockeys, and I could not go to Saratoga.
Oh,
So I was stuck all summer riding at Ellis Park.
do you
So
get a little jealous? I'm just
I mean,
curious.
yeah, it is. I mean, sometimes they say, oh, it could be a one-shot deal, but sometimes the horse end up winning with another jockey, and the connection just decide to keep the other jockey on the horse. So you can lose a lot of business, like that. There is no one's fault, but you understand also the guy who just pick up the horse and won the horse, he did nothing wrong. Why he should be, taken off, the next following time. So it things, it create opportunities for many jockeys, on this side, but also some of the jockeys, with COVID lost ton of opportunity, like we saw, this year with the French jockey Christophe Soumillon,
Oh, yes.
lost two Breeders' Cup winners this year because he tested positive for COVID-19.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a tough one to swallow, when you have one like that, and it was weird. I mean, it's need to be thankful, because most of us, even if we are positive, yeah, you're losing winners and some prestigious races, but at the end of the day, no, none of us, gets really sick or
Yeah.
end up dying from it. So that's the thing you need to think, positive and the right way, I guess.
That is a great way to look at it. Now, looking to happier things also with Aunt Pearl. Did you always know that this filly was going to be this formidable in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf? Because here, one of the other hype horses, of course, was Campanelli for Wesley Ward, who had beaten the boys in the Pre-Morny. And she had beaten boys on debut also at Gulfstream Park. But Aunt Pearl also, I mean, she had put together a really solid reputation coming in off that stakes record-setting score in the Jessamine Stakes. That stakes record had been in place since 1999, and she shattered it. Did you have any idea, one, that you were going that fast? Two, how confident were you going into the race?
No, I didn't know I went that fast, that day in the Jessamine. There was also a different thing because usually this race is runs, the Jessamine usually runs, earlier in the year.
Yeah.
So it's not like the ground, was also a little bit different too, but it was very firm, this year, and I just truly believe Amper is super gifted filly. I had no doubt. I was very confident before the Jessamine and super confident before the Breeders' Cup. I was able to win the race.
That actually is a great point, what you just said, and I think is there any other, like, while you just said something like that, that's a great handicapping point to take in mind when you're looking at things and also when you're looking at records and whatnot historically. Is there anything that you think handicappers kind of miss? One thing in particular that you think handicappers in general miss when they're looking at races?
No, it depends. Sometimes you try to overthink things like most of the handicappers who didn't bet and pearl that day, they were thinking, it's gonna be too much speed and this and that. When you have a horse, that great, I think can overcome, a little bit of hurdles. Of course, it wasn't a suicide battle up front, with some of the Wesley Wards, Phillies, Campanelli or the other Philly, but it could have been. But I mean, I was prepared to everything. If somebody really wanted to go crazy, I would have probably take her back and put her second or third. But I knew she can go fast early on and still finish fast, without, of course, stay in a limit, of like the craziness of the pace.
Well, that's the thing because we went to Brad's barn to shoot one of these Future Stars Friday features ahead of the Breeders' Cup, and he was saying how she was working in company and had shown that she had the ability to rate. When did you decide? Was it always sort of the plan once the draw was set that you were just going to let her use her weapon, which is her speed, or was that something that you made the assessment on the fly as the gates opened?
No, most of the time you decide that when the gates open. You have like plan A and plan B. Plan A is like, okay, she breaks sharp and she's gonna be a lead, and hopefully one of those filly of Wesley Ward are stalking me. If somehow she breaks flat-footed and use a filly, in front of me, then you go to plan B. But most of the time you don't know really until the gates open because and anything can happen. But
Yeah.
I knew she's pretty good, leaving the gate. She's always break, always break leaving there running. So give me a good indication from her just race. She liked the track, and the first time when she ran at Churchill, it was a little bit softer ground, so I knew she can handle the little bit of giving the ground if we had some. So it was my most, I would say, confident Breeders' Cup, coming in.
Wow. All right. Well, let's go ahead and let's take a look back. Here's Aunt Pearl winning the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf.
They're off in the Juvenile Fillies Turf. And Pearl right out to the early lead. Now rushing up on the outside of Aunt Pearl is Campanelli, and it's these two that will lead the way into that turn. Spanish Love Affair is next, taking back his royal approval, trying to sink some ground into that turn. Down toward the inside in fifth position is Miss Amulet. She's about 5.5 lengths off the lead heading to the backstretch. Union Gables 3 wide. Oldest between those two with 6.5 lengths to make up as they hook up with a backstretch run. Mamali is next on the inside of Editor at Large. Medone is racing 9 lengths behind at this stage of the race. Nazuna's to her inside, and then it's Mother Earth, Invincible Gal, and Utnadata is the trailer. Heading up the backstretch, and it is Aunt Pearl. Aunt Pearl and Florent Geroux have opened up a 4-length lead here as they continue through its first half mile in 47.3 seconds. Frankie Dettori and Campanelli second, 3 lengths behind as they race for the far turn. Spanish Love Affair is now in third with 4.5 lengths to make up. Then it's Royal Approval to the inside, followed by Union Gables, who's being ridden to go. Editor at Large is picking up stride now and going 3 wide. She's got 6 lengths to make up as Aunt Pearl has a 4-length lead coming to the top of the stretch. They're into the stretch and under a hand ride. It's Aunt Pearl all by herself. Campanelli trying to come and get her now with 1 furlong to run. Editor at Large continues to run on late. Toward the outside, it is Spanish Love Affair and Plum Ali, but it is Aunt Pearl with plenty left in the tank. Aunt Pearl and Longeroux by 4 on the wire. A late run from Mother Earth to get second.
All right. Now, sorry about the little previews of the other races popping up. I still don't know how to get rid of those when I show the replays from this year. But just watching that replay back, you had control of that race from the jump. You must have felt really good up there, and you saw the half that you had controlled that pace, and you knew you had so much left in the tank.
Yeah, I mean, she like you said, that was pretty much in control all the way and tried to pick at those shadows. It was very sunny actually that day, and I was looking at the shadows on the ground where some of the horses, and I was a little surprised. I was about like 2 lengths in front on the backside. I'm like, oh, that's weird. I mean, I don't know if I'm going really fast or the other one they can't really keep up, at the time. But no, she went fast early, and I was able to slow it down the second quarter. And when I asked her turning for home, she gave me another gear, and from there I knew she was going to be very tough to catch.
Well, she is by a Prix du Jockey Club winner, French Derby for the layman's out there in Lope de Vega. He himself is son of Chamardal, who also won that race. But he already had a Breeders' Cup winner representing him as a sire, and that was Newspaper Record, who won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf in 2018. But the other thing that's really cool about this filly is that she's out of a mare by Hurricane Run, and Hurricane Run is an ARC winner and a son of an ARC winner in Montjou. So there should be no question that she can stretch even further.
Yeah, exactly. It's what you think. Pedigree wise, it shouldn't be a prime hopefully next year. We just a little bit, we'll see how she winter, over the winter, see how she's horses change a lot from 2 to 3. Hopefully she's growing and she goes to the right direction, and definitely can't wait, for her, to see what she can do, I don't think she needs to, progress, more, to be competitive next year. Hopefully she stay the same, or just progress and grow a little bit and be a little bit better. Hopefully grow mentally, and we'll see from there. But very exciting prospect for sure.
Would you say, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't watch enough international racing. Of course, I watch the big, the big meets. But that being said, is her type of speed, even though she was bred overseas, her type of speed is reminiscent of the speed we see here in America. Do you think that's going to give her a huge advantage over the horses there if she does go to the Coronation?
Yeah, I will say so. I mean, usually their races, they not, they don't go as fast. In general, the filly she run against, actually in the Breeders' Cup, were more, sprinters type, more 6, 7, and they're hoping to get a mile, in America, because their fillies can stretch out, a little bit longer. I will say I will be very surprised if she's not in front over there. Sometimes they like to send, a pacemaker, to make sure the race, gets, have a nice rhythm and no one, steering the race up in front. But I don't see anyone, sending a rabbit, with her, in the race, because pretty much guaranteed, to have a very legit pace.
In general, do you have an idea, since you've gone through before going to Royal Ascot, how far in advance you see a horse that's going to be competing in that meet, and how far in advance do you fly in?
Well, I mean, usually you can fly, a day before the race, or a few days before.
You don't get jet lag?
No, I mean, most of the time, like, Coronation Stakes are run, I would say at the end of the meet. It's usually it's on Friday, I would say, right before the end. It starts on Tuesday all the time. They have the Queen Anne all the time, the first big race. They have the Gold Cup in the middle, and always the last race. I think it's the Diamond Jubilee on Saturday. So it's a 5-day meet, and most of the time, I was Coronation is at the end. I think it's on Friday, I think.
Oh gosh.
So,
Do you even get to enjoy like the experience in terms of like the food and the wine? When you have to keep making weight? And
yeah,
I'm talking about in
I
general.
don't have much problem with my weight. I mean, I need to, like, of course, exercise and stay in shape, for the race. But I'm excited. If we go next year, I will definitely, try to get a few other mount, of course.
Yeah.
And try to contact, Wesley Ward, of course. I know he's gonna send something there, and I know he likes to win. But
Yeah.
there may be other people who are also thinking about, selling horses, and maybe local trainers, from England, or maybe some from France who are selling horses and who needs a jockeys. We never know.
Do you know who I think was amazing that I met for the first time at this Breeders' Cup is Michael Bell. He brought in the Lear Jet, who had won the Norfolk Stakes
Yeah.
at Royal Ascot. That man has so much charisma. He needs to be on TV. I'm just saying that would be a good connection. I think you should be friends with Michael Bell.
All right. Okay. I give
Talk to Simon Callahan. I think he can hook it up.
no problem. I give him a call.
Okay. So of course we now need to talk about Monomoy Girl. She put the exclamation point on your weekend, I would think. this horse, we already showed her 2018 triumph. In winning the Distaff now for the second time, you basically helped guide her not only to joining the ranks in terms of being a double Distaff winner with Bayakoa, Royal Delta, and Beholder. Those are the only other 3 horses to have done it. But you've also basically helped her cinch Hall of Fame. There's no doubt this mare's going in the Hall of Fame honors.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think she was, Hall of Fame also caliber, before the Distaff win, this year. But I'm sure, like you said, she's definitely stamped her name, for the Hall of Fame, that's for sure. And just incredible filly, just a race record, are just outstanding. I mean, I got her beat twice, and honestly, it was probably my fault twice. She probably should have been, undefeated. But sometimes I think that's how it goes. I learned, a lot, from her also through the years, and I know her quirks, and she has a lot of them. Trust me, and it's something, sometimes you lose a race, but you keep the same, people, the connection, and you learn from your mistake, and you move forward. And with her, it's what we did. And I'm very grateful and thankful for the connection. Always, thought, I was the right guy for the job.
Yeah, you're talking about she's crossed the wire in every race but one. The other race that now she's counted as a second was a disqualification, correct?
Yes, correct. Actually, she lost one time. It was in as a 2-year-old in a Golden Road.
Yeah.
And I remember she was all over that day. It was a very sunny day. It was cold, and I hit her right. She went left. I hit her left. She went right, and she was zigzagging all over the place. And her horse she was like, I think, a couple lengths in front at the 8-pole, and gives a filly of Marcus. He just got me on the wire, and when she saw her, she just rebroke again, but she just put her head, right on the wire, and she galloped out, I guess, Monomoy, way in front, and I was just, completely devastating that day, because I really felt like I had the best, filly in the race, and I got her beat, but I didn't know, she was going to respond like that, to the riding crop. So I guess we learned a lot from that day on, and after that, she doesn't, need much of encouragement, to get the job done.
Do you have a photographic? I mean, what you're saying, you're reliving that race as if it just happened. Do you have a photographic memory, basically, with the horses you've ridden and the race records?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, especially for the good horse, I remember pretty much every single, clear details, what happened. Especially like with her, I remember every single race of her, memories by easily, My first race on her was on the turf at Churchill Down. She just come off a fresh win in Indiana. I rode on the turf actually. I remember she was wearing a big shadow row at the time, so we used to put her, for try to make her focus, but it didn't change much actually. And same thing. She was a little bit all over the place, and I thought it was maybe the turf, and it was we raced at night that day, so I thought it was that, but it was not. I guess it was just her.
Just her. But wow, you're right. What you said, what a race record she has amassed. She has, as again, the only time she's not crossed the wire is in first is just one time, and she was right there, like you were saying. And so 13 official victories in 15 starts. She's now won just shy of $4.5 million. Again, a 2-time Distaff winner. I was talking to Brad Cox. Actually, I want to show this comment from somebody real quick. Jody Powers wants to say, Monomoy Girl is my favorite mare of all time. What a horse. And then she said this. She said she would beat the boys at 1 mile and 1/8. And the reason I want to bring that up, and she also says, Brad takes such good care of his horses. Yes, he does. The reason I wanted to bring up where she said about she would beat the boys at 1 mile and 1/8, Brad was very kind. After the Future Stars Friday card, we were able to go to the barn, me and my camera guy, and we shot some follow-up interviews with him on both Essential Quality, who had won the TVG Juvenile, presented by the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance, and Pearl, who, as we have already watched and relived, won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf. But Monomoy was right there, of course. You can't ignore Monomoy in her stall. Hey, right? And he was telling us that she was training so good that she's so much better now than she ever was, that had the Classic been a mile and an eighth, he would have put her against the boys in there. Did he tell you that?
Well, yeah, I'm probably the one who told him that too.
Oh, you told him that too?
No, I mean we all agree. We know because we work with her all the time,
Yeah.
and we know what she's when she's right and she does things. She's very she's great in the morning. She does things some horses you just can't do, and she's always breeding company with very good horses. A recent company right before the Breeders' Cup are Owendale, Arklow, and those are some of the nicest horses we have in the barn, and they can't really keep up with her. At the end of the workout, she look like she's always have a little bit of the best of them. At the end, not we are trying to like set any record, but they just something about good horses when they look at the other one in the eye right at the end. There's always one of them who are giving it up, and it's not her.
I
So,
love that. Oh my gosh.
so
Well,
no, we're excited with her, and I think the boys is definitely won't be hopefully since Spendthrift decide to purchase her and going
yeah.
to race her again next year. Is definitely I would say something should be on the table. She has nothing nothing to lose, and like you said, if this year the Breeders' Cup was a mile and eight, I think she probably most likely, would have been in there. We just a little bit worried about the distance. We think she's her best, run a mile or mile and eight. And if you run, the Breeders' Cup mile, on the dirt, the purse is 1 million against the colt. But if you run against fillies, it's mile and eight for 2 million. So it doesn't make much sense to pull her in the mile race. But in the same token, the mile and a quarter was a little bit farther, and she only raced, 3 times this year. So it was a little bit, I would say that was not the right time to do it.
Well, undefeated this year, though, now in 4 starts, 4 victories. Let's take a look at that Breeders' Cup Distaff win of Monomoy Girl, taking it for the second time with Florent Geroux aboard.
Oh, Swiss Skydiver stumbled at the start of the Breeders' Cup Distaff, and it will be Lady Kate to go out to the early lead. Harvest Moon running in second position. Horologist is third. Monomoy Girl is fourth on the outside. Then CC down toward the rail against Swiss Skydiver. Took that early stumble. I forgot to say they're off after I saw that. And then Valiant to the outside. Break up another 2 to Dunbar Road. And at the back of the pack early on here is Point of Honor. 23.11 the opening quarter mile. Onto the back stretch to go. And the leader is Harvest Moon. On top of half length, Lady Kate on the outside in second position. Break up another 2 lengths. Then Horologist on the inside. Ollie's Candy and Monomoy Girl perched out on the outside of them. She's 2.5 lengths off the lead as they continue through this first half mile in 46.03 seconds. And then it's CC. Swiss Skydiver is down on the inside. She'd have to be really good to win from here as the field makes their way into the far turn. Harvest Moon with a half mile to go. A half length in front. Lady Kate draws up alongside of her. Ollie's Candy is next. Monomoy Girl is out there 4 wide. Swiss Skydiver is riding the rail on the turn. She's just 3 lengths behind, and she is in contention as they make their way to the top of the stretch. Valiant is circling up on the outside. In the meanwhile, here comes Monomoy Girl to the neck of Harvest Moon. The rail's open for Swiss Skydiver, and she's coming on through there with 2/16 to go. Monomoy Girl in front. Swiss Skydiver coming up the rail. In between horses, Harvest Moon fights on. Valiance is running a big one on the outside. Monomoy Girl past the 16th pole in front. She's in front by 2. Valiance is second as they come down to the line. She did it again. Monomoy Girl and Florent Geroux have won the Distaff over Valiance. And then it was Dunbar Road, followed by Harvest Moon, and a very unlucky day for Swiss Skydiver.
I love it. Okay, so there you go. There you are. So there you go. You think that because earlier on the card, unfortunately, you were riding Starship Jubilee, who was another Sovereign Horse of the Year in the Filly and Mare Turf, and you fell off right out of the gate.
Yeah.
So were you rattled at all by that?
Yeah, I was. I didn't get hurt, so that was the main thing. But I just felt very sorry for the connection. It was going to be our last race, and she was just fresh off a very nice win and impressive win in the Woodbine
Over
Mile.
boys. Yeah, the
And
Woodbine Mile.
over the boys, and I thought she had a legit chance, of like doing great, in the Breeders' Cup, and just lost, all chance, at the start, stumbled very badly and threw me off her back. And good thing, like the filly didn't get hurt, and they were able, to catch her, with the outrider, and she came back, safe and sound. But very bummed, for the connection of the filly. It was
Yeah.
very unfortunate what happened.
Well, how do you get your mind back into the game after something like that?
I mean, you just forget about it and just go to the next race. That's how it goes.
Thank goodness you weren't hurt. I mean, when you have, another live shot like that coming up with Monomoy Girl, and you were believing at the time this is going to be her last race. Also, this is it. When you cross that wire, the thing I find interesting also when we're watching these replays, I always find that when you cross the wire, it's almost like you're taking it in. Like, I won this race. Yes, you're not outwardly celebrating just yet. Like you're just taking a moment to gather yourself and savor the moment. Am I wrong in that, or?
Yeah, you do, but I don't know. I always had a feeling, she probably would have raced, next year. I was not,
You did.
close. Someone who could have easily purchased her and pulled the plug and decide, I just want the filly, to get to the breeding shed, and have some babies next year. It could have easily happened, depending on who was going to purchase the filly. But you have a filly like that, she missed an entire year. She's very lightly raced for a 5-year-old. Going to be 6. She probably run her best race of her career. She's sound. There is some big money races, coming up.
That's right.
Most of the top, contenders just got retired. I mean, it's also, you want to win the race, the prestige of winning those races, but as a financial standpoint too, it's a good way of getting some of the money you spent to purchase her. Too.
Well, I was actually there when she was in the ring, and I was taking video of it as that bid went up and up and up, and the hammer dropped at $9.5 million. And as you've already stated, to Spendthrift Farm, and that's when the news started coming out from Ned Toffee that yes, she was going to remain in training with Brad Cox. She's returned to the Churchill barn there. You've got to think, after what he said regarding the Classic, and after what you've also, said that you felt the same way regarding how she could have taken on the boys, if not for the distance not being as much to her liking. But the race coming up, that's a mile and 1/8 with a giant purse, Pegasus World Cup.
Yeah, I think definitely I would say the race on the radar I talked a little bit over, with Brad, and just now she didn't breeze back anything since the Breeders' Cup, so now we kind of like Brad, and his team, are looking over how she's coming back from a race and what we're going to point for. I would say the Pegasus probably on the radar, but also the race in Riyadh, the Saudi Cup.
The Saudi Cup, that's right.
It's a $20 million race.
Oh.
I mean, you can run in both, if you have to, but it's a little bit quick back 4 weeks later or 5 weeks later. And one is 3 million, the other one is 20 million. I mean, I know
Right.
it's a little bit longer of a trip, but one of them is very attracting, and I think the mile 8 1 turn is something I think she would really like. She's extremely good at 1 turn mile, and I think the mile 8 1 turn, I think she will be definitely her liking.
That's so exciting, actually, because that wasn't for whatever reason. I guess it's just because it's new, because the Saudi Cup was run for the first time last year. So it wasn't even on my radar, even thinking about that just now. But now you bring it up, I love it. I love it for multiple reasons. What you just said, it sounds like a perfect scenario for her. The purse is incredible to have that sitting out there as being the big pot at the end of that racetrack rainbow. But also the fact, selfishly, my main name is Hakeem. My dad is from Iraq. So the Middle East, I love the Middle East. I love anything to do with the Middle East in terms of the horse culture and, the culture in general, from the music to the food to everything. I can't recall, were you over there for the inaugural?
No, I wasn't there for the first one. I've been to many places in the Middle East, but never been in Riyadh. I've never been to Saudi Arabia.
Ugh,
But if they ask me to go next year,
you'll go.
I will definitely take the airplane and go there.
And you gotta love that the food is friendly for the jockey colonies. It's gotta be. It's like, all the healthy hummus, the boulie, all that good
Yeah,
stuff.
no, exactly. No, I don't. I like it. I like any kind of food, and I like the of course the Mediterranean type
That's
of food
right.
is good for us.
Well, we've gone over a lot of deep stuff. I kept you longer than I should have. I'm so sorry, but I'm so thankful for the time you've given us. Before you go, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you. You're a jockey, you understand fitness. We just came off Halloween. We're going into Thanksgiving and Christmas. Do you have any fitness tips for us?
Well, I mean, just the main thing is eating healthy. That's the number one. If you work out but you don't keep up, with your nutrition, it doesn't really matter.
Do you
Just
do you indulge at all, like with the coming over here, America, getting in on the whole Thanksgiving turkey stuffing, mashed potatoes, gravy,
well,
or
I do a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I'm not like a crazy big eater. In general, I kind of watch what I eat, and I don't like to snack. Between between the dinners and stuff. So it doesn't really matter. You can leave like a bowl full of chocolate or goodies. It doesn't really matter. I won't touch it. Uh, but my wife loves to cook and
oh, nice.
like to eat healthy, so she helps a lot. The plate is always ready for me when I come back. From the races. It's a great thing. But when I go by myself in New Orleans, it's where I gain a little bit of a weight. because the food is
The
incredible there.
etouffee.
Exactly, there's a great places to go eat over there, and just endless different type of cuisine, so.
Oh, I love
But
it.
no, I cook necessary for myself and try to eat healthy and vegetable and stuff like this. It's when you keep your weight pretty low, and your body's in good shape.
I just had a great idea for the PDJ off. I'm gonna pitch it right now, and I'm gonna get a hold of my gal Mindy Lynn Coleman too, and see if she likes this idea. Because I mean, not only do you guys do a great job with your jock karaoke, you do. Y'all are amazing. You're a champion. Um,
Yeah.
but also, why not? Why haven't we done? Unless we have done this, and I just don't know. Why don't we get like you guys to submit your very best recipe, your very best like staying fit recipe, put it all in a book, and sell it for charity?
Yeah, I could. I mean, you need a pretty big kitchen, and if you want everyone to cook at the same time, I
Oh,
don't know.
no, you just submit your recipe. We'll put it in a book. It'll be a cookbook.
Yeah, no, I could. I don't know. Some of the joke is I don't know if I want to try their food though.
Who are you clowning on? Come on, you
I
can
don't
tell
know.
us.
I don't know. I don't know if they all cook, or not, But
You know who's a great cook? I love watching his videos. Is my gal, is my guy, the cat man, Wayne Catalano.
he's a good cook. I've been to his place many times. He can cook. I
Well,
would say most of people from Louisiana love to cook. Most of them learn from their parents, and it's just in their culture in general. They just cook all the time, and I know when I go down south during the winter, most of the guy I know and I hang out with, they all know how to cook, so pretty safe over there.
there you go. Well, it's good to be well connected in that regard. I'm gonna let you go, but one just on a serious note, for anybody out there who wants to be like you, who wants to follow suit and be a jockey, what bit of advice would you give them? What separates a really good jockey from a great one?
Your dedication, for the job, just work hard and believe in your dreams, But then I would say the dedication is what makes the difference, and when you're
Okay.
passionate about the sport and the job you love, it's not really work. When I woke up every morning, it's just myself. It's just fun doing what I love, and I don't I don't mind spending tons of hours on a computer, looking, at horse racing stuff, because that's just what I love to do, and probably something I will do if I was doing another job. And I'm sure that's the same for you, Ren, or your husband, Matt. when you guys are not doing some television or stuff like this, you're probably looking at horse racing anyway. So
Yeah, yeah. If you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life, is what they say.
exactly.
But Flo, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations. It's so exciting for you. And I'm so happy that you're going to be able to ride Monomoy Girl into 2021. We're also looking forward to, of course, since it's, this is the Future Stars Forecast follow-up edition. Of course, we're excited about what Aunt Pearl is going to be doing in 2021 as well. So in the meantime, happy holidays to you, and look forward to seeing you in person next time. We can make it happen. Everybody, I can't point the right way. Why can't I point? There we go. Florent Geroux. Thank you so much for your time
Thank you.
and all the best.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a
Bye,
great day.
everybody.